TV soap news and spoilers today. We have an incredibly emotional and important story to share with you. One that revolves around the beloved character of John Black, portrayed by the late, great Drake Hogestyn. As you may already know, the actor passed away from pancreatic cancer in late September 2024, leaving an irreplaceable void in the hearts of both his castmates and his fans. But what many of you might not know is the incredible, delicate task the show's new writers faced as they worked to craft a fitting and emotional exit for John Black, while also honoring the legacy of both the character and the actor who brought him to life. Today, we're diving deep into how this final chapter of John Black's story was written and what the future holds for the iconic character's exit. A challenging task for the new writers. When the new writing team, Swickley and Ford, took over from the legendary Ron Carlivati, they were faced with what seemed like an impossible task: crafting an appropriate farewell for John Black. The long-running character, whose storyline has been integral to Days of Our Lives for decades, was portrayed by the equally iconic Drake Hogestyn. Hogestyn, who brought a unique depth and intensity to the role, had become a fixture in the hearts of DOOL fans, making his eventual departure a deeply emotional moment for viewers. However, this wasn't just any ordinary exit for a character. It was the exit of a man who had played one of the most beloved figures on the show, and who had an undeniable impact on the entire DOOL legacy. When Hogestyn passed away, it sent shockwaves through the cast, crew, and especially the fans. The writers were left with the daunting task of finding a way to say goodbye to a character that had been central to the show for so long. In addition to that overwhelming challenge, the writers also had to balance the possibility of hope. There was a chance, however slim, that Hogestyn's condition might have improved, or that a miracle might occur, allowing John to return to Salem. The writers had to take that possibility into account while still preparing for the inevitable departure of the character. The emotional weight of John's exit. Writing the exit of John Black was no easy feat, and Swickley and Ford understood the weight of the responsibility. The two new writers reflected on the incredible task before them, explaining, "That man could only be on certain missions. His family and friends in Salem, especially Marlena Evans, were left waiting for him." As long as there was hope that John might make a miraculous recovery, there was a delicate balance to maintain, one between the grief of losing him and the hope that he could somehow return to the people who loved him most. However, as time passed and the reality of Drake Hogestyn's passing settled in, the writers realized that it was time to bring closure to John's story, as painful as it was. They knew that they needed to craft a storyline that would give fans the sense of finality they needed, while also paying tribute to the iconic actor who had portrayed John for so many years. Despite praying that he would never return, we realized that he might never return, and we needed to create an exit that honored John, Drake, and the fans, Swickley and Ford shared. The task before them was not just to write John Black out of the story, but to ensure that his departure would be meaningful and impactful for both the character and the people who had followed his journey on the show. They had to write a farewell that would resonate with fans, while also giving the character of John the respect he deserved after all these years. Honoring John and Drake Hogestyn. One of the most important aspects of John Black's exit was that it was not just about the character leaving Salem, it was also about honoring Drake Hogestyn himself. The actor's legacy, the impact he had on the show, and the love fans had for him all needed to be reflected in this final chapter. Fortunately, Hogestyn had given his approval for the exit story before his death, which allowed the writers to stay true to the actor's wishes and vision for how John would be written out of the show. As Swickley and Ford discussed, the idea was not just to have John leave Salem abruptly, but to craft an exit that would tie together his entire journey, a journey filled with love, drama, and heartache. His bond with Marlena Evans, his adventures, and his legacy needed to be wrapped up in a way that felt both satisfying and emotional. This wasn't just a character's departure. It was a moment that would resonate with anyone who had followed John's story over the years. The 60th anniversary milestone, a celebration of history. Another critical factor in the writing of John Black's exit was the upcoming 60th anniversary of Days of Our Lives. This milestone anniversary, which is set to take place in November, presented a unique opportunity for the writers to honor not only John Black's story, but also the rich history of Days of Our Lives as a whole. The 60th anniversary marks a huge achievement for the soap opera, and it provided the perfect backdrop for a storyline that would celebrate the legacy of the show and its characters, including John. Quickly and Ford made it clear that the 60th anniversary would be a celebration of everything that Days of Our Lives had achieved over the years. They wanted to make sure that John's departure was woven into the fabric of the show's history, not as a tragic moment, but as part of the larger celebration of the series and its iconic characters. It wasn't just about saying goodbye to one character. It was about reflecting on the lasting impact of Days of Our Lives on its viewers and celebrating the unforgettable moments that had shaped the show over the decades. What does John's exit mean for Marlena and the fans? Of course, one of the most heartbreaking aspects of John Black's exit is the emotional toll it will take on his beloved wife, Marlena Evans. Their love story has been one of the cornerstones of Days of Our Lives, and to see that chapter come to a close is nothing short of devastating. Marlena's grief and sense of loss will undoubtedly play a significant role in the upcoming storylines, and fans will undoubtedly be glued to their screens as they watch her navigate the pain of losing the man she has loved for so long. For the fans, John's departure is bound to bring an overwhelming sense of sadness. Many viewers have watched John's story unfold for decades, and his exit will undoubtedly be an emotional moment for anyone who has followed his journey. But as Quickly and Ford noted, they were determined to create an exit that would honor both the character of John and the actor who portrayed him for so many years. It's a bittersweet farewell, but one that will leave a lasting impact on the show and its fans. A final farewell, a tribute to a legend. As we approach John Black's final story on Days of Our Lives, there's no doubt that the show will never be the same without him. His departure is not just the end of a chapter for his character, but also the closing of a significant era for Days of Our Lives as a whole. Drake Hogestyn's portrayal of John was nothing short of legendary, and the writers have worked tirelessly to craft an exit that is fitting for both the actor and the character. This story is one that fans will remember for years to come, a tribute to the man who brought John Black to life and to the unforgettable moments that defined his journey. As we all prepare to say goodbye to John, we can take solace in the fact that his legacy will live on in the hearts of fans, and his impact on Days of Our Lives will never be forgotten. Stay tuned for what promises to be an emotional and unforgettable farewell to John Black, as Days of Our Lives continues to honor its past and celebrate the rich history of the show on its 60th anniversary. Our TV channel Soap News and Spoilers is the place for those who want to know how the Salem story goes, as well as great Days of Our Lives updates and news. So subscribe to our channel to get what you want. Bye-bye.